Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson, and well, Game 1 was a success for the Red Raiders. 63-10, Texas Tech walloped Murray State at home. It opened up the Joey McGuire era in grand fashion. There's always drama, though, in a college football game. Typically a lot of drama. And Texas Tech did have its fair share of drama, despite the offense playing lights out. Really the defense as well for the most part. Texas Tech outgained Murray State 605 to 258 in total yardage. But despite that, starting quarterback Tyler Shuck did go down with an injury. It was a quarterback draw play. It was a good run, but he hurt the same shoulder that cost him most of last season as well when he went down with the injury in the Texas game. So that's rough. You know, you hate it for Tyler. Great guy. He's by all accounts, he's a good guy. In my personal interactions, I have to say he's a great guy too. So you hate to see that for him. I asked Coach McGuire in the post-game press conference for an update, and he said the initial X-rays, basically they couldn't tell if it was the AC joint or if it was the collarbone, but it was in the same spot as the injury last year. And that, you know, if it's an AC joint, he's going to be out a couple weeks. You know, you can't play with that injury. It's going to have to get better. But if it's a collarbone, it could be even longer, at least 4 to 6 weeks. So Tyler Shuck's going to be out. And that's terrible news for Tyler, you know, for the team. He's a starting quarterback. But it also means Donovan Smith is QB1. And he had a terrific game. He finished 14 for 16 for 221 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was great last year in certain games. He gave the Red Raiders a chance to win in most of the games. Of course, he was the starter in that big win against Iowa State. He started the Baylor game. He put Tech in position to at least tie it and in a position to win. They missed a field goal late, and so they didn't win. But and then of course he helped Texas Tech's offense just dismantle Mississippi State in the bowl game. So I'm a huge fan of Donovan Smith. He looked great tonight. He looked really good as a redshirt freshman late last season. I just think he's a winner. I liked him at Friendship. I saw him play several times at Friendship High School, several years back. And he just finds a way to win. And I think as he gets more and more experience, he's going to make less mistakes. He has a savvy to him. He has a good arm. And I think he looks really good in Zach Kittley's offense. So I think Donovan Smith could really take off, and so could the Red Raiders behind him. Now, that's not to say I don't think Tyler Shuck's a good quarterback. I also like Baron Morton's future. But to me, I'm excited to see what Donovan Smith can and what this team can do with him at quarterback. Now, I think they would have won, and done well with Tyler Shuck, and he had a good game before he got hurt as well. Though he did miss a couple throws. I mean, he's a human, but he looked good. And he's a good quarterback and very talented. But Tech's got a lot of weapons. Of course, running backs Taj Brooks and Jarret Johnson were great. Taj Brooks scored over half of his carries. He had 6 carries for 50 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jarret Johnson rushed for 49 yards, but he also had a 30-yard touchdown catch. Thompson looked great. Those two guys are just a great tandem. Speaking of tandems, outside receivers Loic Fungi and Jerran Bradley each went for over 100 yards and hauled in touchdowns. So the offense was clicking, and I got to give some love to the offensive line. I know it's Murray State. Look, we know that. But that's the data we have right now is against Murray State. And I spent all offseason expressing my concern about this offensive line, and I thought they looked great. And they gained 600 yards. They controlled the line of scrimmage, great in pass blocking. And they were good in run blocking. Perhaps not as good as they were in pass blocking, but they were still good. So hats off to the offensive line. In terms of the first test, they passed with flying colors. The defense was a little bit of a mixed bag. Now, look, I want to tell you something. First off, their quarterback went down at the end of the first half, DJ Williams, and he had thrown for over 200 yards and a touchdown in the first half. I don't think he was going to. The game was out of hand. Tech dominated from the get, especially offensively, but defensively as well. Other than some times that let the receivers get behind them in the secondary. But he went down in the end of the first half, and that was pretty much it in terms of Murray State, offense doing anything. But Texas Tech defense, first off, they had 4 sacks. Phil Bleedy, who I've been talking about all offseason, I thought he was going to have a great season. He had 2 of those sacks. Tyree Wilson, who's high on a lot of NFL teams' draft boards, and rightfully so, had a good game with 2 tackles for loss and a half a sack. Christian Merriweather, inside linebacker, had 7 tackles and a half a sack. He played well. Tony Bradford got a sack. So the defensive line really controlled the game in terms of on that side of the ball. They controlled what was going on. Not only did they get 4 sacks, but they also held Murray State to 1.2 yards per carry. They had 50 yards on 41 rushes. I mean, that's tremendous. So secondary, though, there were some breakdowns. The safeties who I've been touting all offseason, who are good players, and I think they're going to be good this year, they struggled some. The corners got burnt, too, on several occasions. I asked Coach McGuire about it. He said that he thought first off, the defensive line lost some containment some and extended plays, but then also the defensive backs were caught kind of looking in the backfield some. So that's got to improve. They got to do better in the secondary of their coverage. But I thought Muddy Waters looked good early. He looked really fast, and it was good to see him healthy. I thought Reggie Pearson looked really good, pretty good late too, with some really nice hits. Dadrian Taylor Demerson was one of probably the worst games I've seen him play in a while, but I don't expect that to continue. He's a very good player. We know that. We've seen him perform at a high level several times against quality competition, so I expect him to bounce back against Houston. Special teams, other than the Adrian Fry of fielding of the punt at the 1-yard line, which that drive still ended up in a touchdown. Special teams was good. There were some good returns, good coverage on the punts. I think the opening kick they allowed, or one of the early kicks, they allowed Murray State to return it for a long return, fairly long return. But Austin McNamara was terrific. A couple punts he pinned inside the 5. They were perfect. I think he averaged 45 yards per punt, so great night from him. The kickers, Trey Wolf did a good job on the kickoffs, and they didn't miss any extra points. I don't think they had a field goal try because they kept punching in the end zone, but there weren't any huge blunders from the coaching staff. There weren't any huge blunders from the team, from the players, really. They dominated from the get-go, got that first win for Coach Joey McGuire. They had some adversity with Tyler Shuck, but, I mean, Donovan Smith went in there and just, torched Murray State. Barron got some playing time. He threw a touchdown pass to Mason Tharp, his buddy, his roommate and buddy. 6'9" tight end. All the tight ends got involved. Henry Teeter and Baylor Cupp both had catches for over 20 yards as well. So that was nice to see. I love Zach Kelly's offense, I have to say. The tempo was outstanding, and it caused Murray State some problems. Every team they face now are going to have to look at that and be like, this is something we have to contend with, which is great. There was a little bit of misdirection there, some chicanery. With the first play was a flea flicker inside their own 10, which Shuck completed to Duran Bradley for a 40-yard gain. So, I mean, overall, I feel like this was a great opening night for Texas Tech. Good crowd. They stayed for a while. The fourth quarter, look, it was a beatdown. It was sloppy. Not sloppy, but it was a lot of the backups, and at that point, you're just trying to get the game over. It was basically over. And, yeah, the fans left then, but good crowd. They were loud, all that, especially for, Murray State. So it was a good time. Great win. Great night overall. You hate that for Tyler. I hate it for him. Him to have that injury. We'll have more. Coach McGuire said he's going to give us a better update on Monday during his press conference, which, of course, I'll be there. I'll have some kind of report on that. I'll have a video for y'all. But I'm gonna try and do at least a video most days, especially during the week. I take Sundays off and will be with my boy and my family. But for the rest of the time, I'm gonna try and post videos almost every day during the football season, talking about something. And I have a pretty good feeling Monday. A big part of it will be the update on Tyler Shuck and the quarterback situation and all that. So, but overall, man, I had a great time. We had a great radio show on the Rockin' Pregame 101.1. Mighty Joe and I in the press box are getting to watch the game, and Tech looked great. Well-coached team. Overall, just a great opening night here in Raiderland for Joey McGuire, to kick off the Joey McGuire era, and to kick off the 2022 season. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.